There are a lot of TV streaming services out there, like a lot, like more than anyone could ever possibly need, with far more content than anyone could possibly watch. And thus begins the paradox of choice. With so many options, which streaming services are worth subscribing to, and which ones are just another drain on your bank account? I figured it out so you don't have to. Let's take a look. Hey guys, it's Kate with Apt, and in this video we're going to be comparing the top 5 most popular TV and movie streaming services: Netflix, Prime Video, Disney+, Max, and Paramount+. Now obviously those are not even close to all of the options that exist out there, but we don't want this to be a 2-hour video, so we have to draw the line somewhere. If you have a favorite that we didn't mention, be sure to comment down below and let us know why you love it. If there's enough demand, we might just make a part 2. We'll start right off the bat with Paramount+, with 63.4 million subscribers. Originally launching as CBS All Access in 2014, they eventually realized that name was attractive to absolutely no one, and gosh darn it, they needed a plus at the end. Hence the rebrand to Paramount+ in 2021. There are only 2 tiers of Paramount+, which is notably less than all the other services. There's Essential, which is $5.99 a month with limited ads, and the With Showtime bundle at $11.99 a month. The Showtime bundle offers no ads, with a few exceptions, live TV, Showtime originals, and the opportunity to download titles for offline viewing, so you're definitely getting some bang for your buck. But if you want to get a taste for the service before committing to either plan, there is an included 7-day free trial. Now, here's the thing about streaming services. At the end of the day, your enjoyment of them is going to be almost entirely dependent on the movies and shows in their library and not on the platform itself. As opposed to, say, music streaming apps, where the content is the same and the interface and app features are the main draw, at the end of the day, most people will choose a service for one main reason, because they want to watch their content. But I'm a very critical person, so let's judge their interfaces just for fun. Honestly, Paramount's is pretty good. They have your keep watching at the top, which I appreciate. It's very convenient for picking back up where you left off. On the home screen, they have a good selection of new arrivals, various genres. They have the top 10 most popular and lists of different brands they carry, so you can look through those if you want. Episodes and seasons of shows are easy to navigate, and they have skip recap and skip intro buttons. They also don't force you to rewatch ads if you rewind, which is a giant plus. I will say though, they don't give you a timer on the ads. It's not like they're super long or anything, but it'd be nice to know if I have enough time to get up and refill my drink or not. So how about the content itself? Well, in regards to their originals, I have to say I'm kind of surprised there isn't more to choose from, especially considering they launched the service in 2014. Some of their most well-known exclusive contributions include The Good Fight, all of the new Star Trek shows, and the new seasons of Criminal Minds since they picked it up. However, it does seem like Paramount+ has gotten into the grand streaming service tradition of canceling beloved shows prematurely. iCarly. So it sounds like they might not believe in some of their originals that much. And they really seem to have focused more on original shows than original movies. I couldn't find that many that I had heard of before, but some that they do have include Honor Society, Orphan, First Kill, and movie continuations from their existing properties like Zoey 102 or Good Burger 2. On the other hand, their non-original content library is pretty nice and expansive, and I'm willing to bet anyone could find something they want to watch on there. Speaking from my experience, I go on Paramount+ a lot to watch some of my favorite movies, like Titanic, The Big Short, and Grease 2. Although I'm told some of these have recently become available on other services, but that's the way of the game. Distribution rights change, and they change often. Other favorites on there include my nostalgic favorite Nickelodeon shows like SpongeBob and Victorious, along with others like Survivor and The Twilight Zone. And because it's Viacom, you get access to live TV with everything CBS, including sports coverage. These 2 things are another part of the reason I downloaded it. I wanted to watch live events like the Tony Awards and the Super Bowl. I know, weird combination. Take it up with CBS. Alright, moving right along. Next we have the service formerly known as HBO Max. First launched in 2020, it rebranded to just Max in 2023 and currently boasts about 95.1 million subscribers. Probably no thanks to what is, in my opinion, a very badly executed and unnecessary rebrand.
Drop the HBO. Just Max. It's cleaner.
Max offers 3 different tiers: the ad tier, which is $9.99 a month, ad-free, which is $15.99 a month and offers downloading for offline viewing, and finally ultimate ad-free, which is $19.99 a month and notably offers 4K Ultra HD streaming. Unfortunately, Max does not offer a free trial period. There's also the option to pay an extra $9.99 a month for the Bleacher Report Sports add-on, which includes select live events from the MLB, NHL, and NBA, amongst others. The UI for Max is interesting, to say the least. They have some features that I enjoy. I like that they have banners for what's soon to be coming to the service, and feature live events and news so you don't have to specifically search for them. But they really also have some annoying factors, especially when you're watching on a Roku like I was. For example, clicking on your Continue Watching will automatically start playing your content from where you last left off. I would much prefer it took me to the episode selection screen so I could choose where to pick up from. And another thing, to get the episode description, you have to press a More Info button on your remote. This makes no sense to me. Why not just have it on the screen? Who is out here selecting episodes without reading the descriptions first? I don't know. Weird interface aside, let's talk about the actual content itself. Part of the reasoning behind the rebrand was the fact that Warner Media, HBO's parent company, merged with Discovery Inc., acquiring a bunch of their content onto the service as well. So as a result, you have some of the highest of prestige TV from HBO right next to some of the trashiest TV in existence from Discovery. On top of that, there's another layer. I didn't know this beforehand, but there's a difference between HBO originals and Max originals. Chances are HBO originals are the ones you've heard a lot of hype for, shows like Euphoria, White Lotus, Succession, and House of the Dragon. There honestly isn't a super huge number of Max originals, but they do have some you might have heard of, like Our Flag Means Death, The Flight Attendant, and Just Like That, aka the Sex and the City reboot series. And as for Discovery's contributions, you get some quality titles like Jared from Subway, Catching a Monster, and The Price of Glee. Truly something for everyone. In addition to their original content, Max offers a lot in terms of movies and TV shows you may know and love. Some choice offerings include Friends, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the Harry Potter franchise, The Sopranos, and pretty much anything DC Comics. So truly, when Max's titles are bad, they're bad, but when they're good, they're exceptional, which in my opinion is the biggest draw by far. But I do have a pretty big bone to pick with them. In order to get a tax write-off, they've removed some of their original content, which then cannot be found or accessed anywhere. Not only is this super frustrating for fans of this content, I can't imagine putting years of time and effort into making a film or TV show only to have it almost completely scrubbed from existence. Now, Max is not the only one to do this, but they are one of the main offenders. Anyways, up next we have the favorite streaming service of anyone under the age of 10, Disney+. First launched in 2019, it now boasts about 150 million subscribers, and unlike the previous two, it has not had a name change, although it has recently undergone a minor rebrand. In March of 2024, Disney Plus officially merged with Hulu, which I'm all for since it's one less subscription for consumers to pay for. While Disney hasn't confirmed this, it's widely speculated that this is why they changed their logo from blue and white to teal and white, integrating the green from Hulu's logo. Do I think it's kind of pointless and stupid? Yes. Is it the most pointless rebrand on the list? Unfortunately not. There are 4 tiers of Disney Plus subscriptions. First is Duo Basic, which is Disney and Hulu for $9.99 a month with limited ads, then Trio Basic, which is the same but with ESPN Plus and will run you $14.99 a month. Then there's Duo Premium, which is Disney Plus and Hulu with no ads at $19.99 a month, and Trio Premium, which is again the same but with ESPN Plus at $24.99 a month. For Trio Premium, it's also important to note that you will still have ads on ESPN Plus, but not on Disney Plus or Hulu content. And there's no free trial for any of these tiers, so keep that in mind as well. So Disney's UI is honestly really good. And part of me wonders if that's because they cater to a younger audience who needs a simple and easy to navigate layout. Whatever the case may be, I'll give it to them. Content is organized well, and it's very easy to find exactly what you're looking for or to browse through for something new to watch. Everything feels very smooth and seamless, and you're not overwhelmed with too much choice. They also have nice little touches like Screen Lock, which lets you lock and unlock all the little buttons while content is playing. I imagine that's very helpful for those with young children so they don't accidentally turn off Bluey and put on the bear instead. Yikes. Moving on to content, the merger with Hulu I think has helped Disney add some grown-up appeal, which is a space it was definitely lacking in up to that point, the exception being Star Wars and Marvel. If those are your jam, rest assured you will find plenty of content and then some on Disney Plus, since they're focusing much of their time and money on those 2 franchises. For Marvel fans, you've got shows like WandaVision, Hawkeye, Loki, and What If, and for Star Wars, you have The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and The Bad Batch, amongst many, many others. Will Disney eventually run these properties into the ground due to sheer overexposure? Have they arguably already done so? Well, that's really none of my business. Beyond Star Wars and Marvel, though, Disney does have some other notable original programming. High School Musical, the musical, the series, is a personal favorite of mine, and I've heard some really great things about newer shows like Percy Jackson and Renegade Nell. My dad really enjoyed watching the Beatles Get Back docuseries, and they've released some good movies like Turning Red and Luca, as well as some not-so-good movies like Disenchanted and various live-action adaptations. However, Disney has also fallen into the pit of removing a few original titles, some of which are now available on other services like Amazon, but some of which aren't available anywhere. So Bob Iger, if you can hear me, bring back On Point! Being that Disney is a company with a long history of making movies and shows, they also have an extensive archival catalog, featuring favorites like your Disney Channel nostalgia fixes, all the beloved animated movies, and live-action films like National Treasure and The Princess Diaries. They have currently running animated series like Bluey and The Simpsons, and feature ABC live shows like Dancing with the Stars and The Bachelor franchise. Factor in Hulu's whole catalog with acclaimed originals like The Bear and Only Murders in the Building, as well as cult classics like Community and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you've got enough quality content to keep anyone entertained for hours. The Hulu aspect also means you get access to episodes of shows the day after they premiere on cable, so if you like to keep up with the Joneses, that's definitely something to consider. And so we have arrived at our penultimate streaming service on the list, Amazon Prime Video. They have a long and storied history, originally launching as a pay-per-download service in 2006, before expanding to subscriber streaming in 2011, and ultimately becoming the service we all shell out for each month. They boast a subscriber base of around 200 million, and if you'd like to be a part of that gargantuan number, you're in luck because they have a convenient 30-day free trial. Once that ends, though, you'll join one of their 4 subscriber tiers: Prime Video with ads at $8.99 a month, ad-free Prime Video at $11.98 a month, Video with Prime membership at $14.99 a month, and ad-free Prime with membership at $17.98 a month. Prime Video just started integrating ads in January of 2024, and I'm pretty sure they're still trying to figure all the kinks out. Case in point, if you want to upgrade to ad-free, you'll have to purchase an ad plan first, and then go into account settings to complete the upgrade, which I find needlessly complicated. Now, here's the thing. You can stack add-on subscriptions to your Prime Video account for an extra cost, including some of the other services I mentioned in this video, like Paramount Plus or Max. Unfortunately, you don't save any money by adding these subscriptions to Prime rather than downloading them separately, but it might be more convenient for you to have your content all in one app. So Prime Video is sort of unique because it can be a lot of different streaming services in one. Prime Video is also singular for having by far the largest catalog of movies and TV shows, but a good chunk of these are ones you have to pay to digitally rent or purchase. For example, you can watch The Office on Prime Video if you want, but you'll have to pay extra to purchase the episodes. However, if you want to watch a specific show or movie that isn't available on other services and you don't mind paying, this may be a good option for you. That takes me to the interface of the service. And I'm not happy, Bezos. Not happy. You would think that for a service that's been around so long, they would have worked some things out. But not so. The homepage is clunky and cluttered, and they often have titles that are included in your subscription right next to ones that are extra to rent or purchase. So you might excitedly click on something you've been wanting to watch, only to find that it's an extra fee to view. I know I have. Now, in the name of fairness, they do have some features that I've shouted out on other services, like a top 10 selection and the continue watching list. And they have some cool features that others don't, like how when you pause a show or movie, they'll pull up the actor or song title or some fun facts about what's on screen. But I just can't give it to Amazon on this one. The interface is not good. Alright, but what about the content itself? Amazon has really shined in the past few years with original shows like The Boys, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Fleabag, and Fallout. They even hold the title for the most expensive TV show of all time with The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And speaking as a viewer of many of their originals, there's some good stuff there. I also admire how they lift up lesser-known actors with their content, often taking chances on these shows without big celebrity names to anchor them. Apple TV could never. Then they've come out with some really great and highly buzzed about original movies such as Saltburn, Roadhouse, Totally Killer, and The Big Sick. But bear in mind that they are the company that released Camila Cabello's Cinderella, so do with that info what you will. As for archival content that is included in your subscription, I'm not super impressed. Most of the titles I was drawn to, like Project Runway, The Brady Bunch, and Friday Night Lights, were also available on other services like Hulu, Peacock, or Paramount Plus. So I didn't feel like I was gaining much from having Prime Video other than the original content and the ability to rent movies, which in and of itself might be enough for you, and if so, that's great. There's some sports content, most are channels that you'll need to purchase access to. But hey, they have Thursday Night Football. They also have a tangentially related free platform called Freevee that shares a lot of their same titles, so if you're looking to save a buck, that might be a good thing to check out. And finally, we've made it to the behemoth of streaming services, the one that started it all, Netflix. Netflix is even older than me. It famously started in 1997 as a mail-based rental business, but added an online streaming platform in 2007 that took over the world. They eventually stopped all DVD operations and switched to streaming only in 2023, which is honestly way more recent than I thought. If you'd like to become a Netflix subscriber, they unfortunately don't have a free trial, but they do have 3 different tiers for you to choose from. There's standard with ads, which at $6.99 a month is the cheapest option, but due to issues with advertising and licensing, some Netflix content won't be available at that level. For example, Sony content like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or No Hard Feelings, plus some shows like Peaky Blinders and The Walking Dead. The next tier is standard, which is $15.49 a month, and gives you the option to add one member who doesn't live with you. More on that later. Then we have Premium, which is $22.99 a month, but comes with added benefits like Ultra HD and spatial audio, lets you watch on 4 devices at a time rather than 2, and lets you add up to 2 members who don't live with you. If you need, additional member slots can be tacked on to ad-free tiers, but it will cost $7.99 per slot per month. Yes, folks, this is the world we live in, and Netflix is cracking down on password sharing. If you're consistently on a different Wi-Fi network or IP address from what they've determined as your Netflix household, you must either be added as a member who doesn't live in the house, get your own subscription, or you can use a code that will be sent to the account email for temporary absences like vacations. From my personal experience, this has been both very annoying and inconsistent. My parents own our family's Netflix account, and they live in a different state. Yet for some reason, I can access Netflix from my laptop just fine, but not my phone. Make it make sense. Other than that, Netflix has an AI that is perfectly serviceable. It's nicely organized, the layout makes sense, and on the homepage, you get a good combination of what's new and popular and what's recommended for you. Once you're watching something, the controls are easy to understand and navigate. And I maintain the opinion that Netflix has the best looking and most painless to read subtitles. The one thing that I really don't like is the autoplay preview feature. It's very difficult to read the description of a show or movie when the content has already started playing in the background. And while you can turn this feature off, you have to do so from a device or an internet browser, not from your TV. But let's get into the content on Netflix. Netflix isn't tied to a production company that's been making content for decades, at least not the way other services like Paramount Plus, Max, and Disney Plus are. So from its inception, Netflix has had to license content from other companies. Now that these companies are mostly making their own streaming services and therefore refusing to license it out, Netflix has put a focus on manufacturing original content, which now makes up about half of their entire library. That is a huge amount. So naturally, you're gonna have a lot of hits and a lot of misses. Some of Netflix's original shows have become part of the cultural zeitgeist, like BoJack Horseman, Wednesday, Stranger Things, and Black Mirror. For my part, some of my favorites include Cheer, Dairy Girls, and Squid Game. Which reminds me, Netflix has a really great selection of foreign content, so that's definitely a point in their favor. However, they also have come out with stinkers like Space Force, The Goop Lab, and Rob Schneider's The Real Rob. So, yeah. They also have some great original films. I really enjoyed Leave the World Behind, Glass Onion, and Set It Up, and they have even had some Oscar contenders in past years, like Marriage Story, The Irishman, and Roma. In addition to original content, they have fan favorite shows like Seinfeld, Suits, and Cobra Kai, as well as movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elvis, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie. But Netflix is also unique for featuring interactive content. Not only do they have games you can play, almost like apps within the Netflix app, but they have special features with choose your own endings. Titles like Black Mirror Bandersnatch and Choose Love let you, the viewer, make choices and decide how the story is going to go. Now, it doesn't seem like they're pouring a lot of money into making more of these, but just the fact that they have them makes Netflix stand out from the others. And if you're looking for live sports, Netflix is just not the one to go for, although they've recently started airing exhibition events in things like golf, tennis, and boxing. And there we have it, folks. That was our comparison of the top 5 streaming services. So which comes out on top? Well, once again, it depends almost entirely on what exactly you're looking for. While one of these may be best in a certain category, I'd have a tough time saying anyone is the best overall. So for those categories, here are my awards. For Best User Interface and Best Children's App, I'd have to give it to Disney+. For Best Price and Best Live Event Content, I give it to Paramount+. For best original and exclusive content, I'd say it's a tie between Max and Netflix. And finally, for most content options, it's going to Prime Video. Well, I hope that was helpful to you guys. Big kudos if you made it to the end of this video. If you have a favorite streaming service, make sure to comment down below and tell us why and what shows you like to watch. We'd love to hear from y'all. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.